points of living in Japan, and then any good points and bad points of living in America.
Okay, I think there's lots of things. Like, of course, everybody knows like Japan's really safe.
Welcome to the R&R Network. I'm Roger, and Lisa's inside eating beef.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Good beef, too.
Good beef, too. And today we're... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're doing the walking and talking series, but not walking.
Yeah, we're just talking this time.
Just like last time.
Standing and talking.
Yeah, standing and talking. And today, the topic I've decided for you, Chan, is...
Okay.
I've thought about this recently a lot. I'm leaving Japan soon, and I want to get your thoughts on, like, the good points and bad points of living in Japan, and then any good points and bad points of living in America.
Okay, I think there's lots of things. Like, of course, everybody knows like Japan's really safe, so I think that's a really good point. There's less kind of, I don't know, like infrastructure problems and things like that. Although you will still get like potholes in the road, but like infrastructure is generally clean. It works well. It's safe. The trains are on time.
Right.
So if you're somebody's like more serious, or I think anybody, you want to get things done, you can get things done in Japan. So that's one of the things I really appreciate about it. And people are just generally nice. So I think that's a really good thing about Japan. So I think there's a lot to love about it. It's also, there's lots of nature everywhere and things like that. So there's a lot of interesting things there. Now, of course, there's also some bad things about it. Sometimes things are just kind of like inconvenient. Like in my house, everything is kind of like just too small. So it's like, if I'm putting on like a shirt or something, I raise my hand, it's like I'll be hitting like lights and things like that. In like older buildings, my head will actually hit like doorways and things like that. And just in general, it's just kind of too small. So it feels like everything is packed into one area. So that's kind of something.
You're pretty tall, right?
Like 6'1".
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's not super tall, but it's tall enough in Japan where you're hitting your head on things. So you have to kind of be careful. Even like I said, 6'1" not super tall, but if you're 6'1", you'll have some trouble with like, oh, this old house, and like, I hit my head on something.
Wow.
So that can kind of happen. You have to be kind of careful about that.
And sinks are kind of low, right?
Yeah, So you'll get weird things like that.
Okay.
There's also just like random things which aren't necessarily bad, but just kind of like weird. Like I noticed lots of like toilets. You go in there and like people can kind of like see into your toilet, which people like if you go like there'll be a urinal or like just a toilet, and like you'll look to the side and there'll be like a window or like a crack between like the walls or something. Why do you want people to see into this? And like that'll be everywhere.
Right.
But like I said, people are generally nice. The only thing, the difference between maybe Japan and America as far as like niceness goes, people in America will kind of go out of their way for something, whereas Japan, people will help you, but for some things you'll kind of be like on your own, and people just kind of
they ignore you or something, or just so, like
so like in America it's like sometimes really nice and sometimes really mean, whereas like Japan is kind of like they're nice, but it's like only to like a certain level at some point. So that's kind of one of those things.
So what about things in America that you miss or you think are better or worse or
in general, I think in America sometimes you can get better deals on things. So like if you want to like 5 for $1, things like that, I think those things are generally better.
Okay.
In general, kind of like access to stuff, like if you want to buy something like a specific thing, I think that's generally better in America. So like I said, like I'm 6'1", that's not super big, but in Japan sometimes it can be difficult to find like shoes or some types of clothes and things. Whereas in America, even if you're like 6'8", they have like big and tall shops where you can find that kind of thing. So that's one of those things. Just even like sometimes like ingredients for cooking, I was like, I can't really find that here. Of course they do have like Japanese stuff, but if it's looking for something that's not really Japanese, then that can be a bit harder.
What is something that you couldn't find here in Japan, like ingredients wise?
I'm trying to think. There's like one basic one. I'm not gonna say they don't have it.
Okay.
But like,
it's
was it
find,
baking soda and baking powder? I've had like problems to get it. I've gotten it before, but it's not like, oh, I can just go to the supermarket. They're gonna definitely have like baking soda or baking powder. They don't always have that. So that's like one of those things. Like, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
And there's like some other things like in Japan, like lots of the things are very seasonal. Whereas like in America, I'm used to like having things like, oh,
All
it's
year
flown in,
round,
you can get like
right,
all year round. Whereas like, I
right.
can't actually get this.
Right.
Now I have to wait another like 8 months before this comes in season. Or even like limes are very expensive, and sometimes you can't get them. I really like limes. I know some people are like lemon people, some people are lime person. I'm a lime person. I prefer limes if I can get them.
Why is that?
They just taste better to me. Like if I can have a limeade or a lemonade, I always choose the limeade. But
a limeade, really?
Yeah, but
I've never had a limeade.
You've never had a limeade? Please have a limeade.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're better than a lemonade. They taste really great, but like I said, in Japan, their limes are usually like twice as expensive, and sometimes they don't have them.
Yeah, exactly. Lemons, they definitely.
Yeah, they definitely have lemons, but limes, like there's lots of times they don't have them.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing can be just like a bit annoying, and also sometimes there's just kind of like some bureaucracy in Japan where it's like, why do I have to go to this and this to do this? Can't I just do this?
Right.
So it's one of those things that's kind of annoying. Like if you want to get an apartment in America, it's like, okay, maybe I pay my last month's rent, or maybe just first and last. In Japan, it's like you're paying like first month, last month, and then you have like some gift money, and then maybe another type of money. So
you gotta
it's like,
pay the
it's like equivalent to at least 3 months, but probably 4 months of rent to get an apartment. So those things are they're just really annoying. So like that. But anything, like almost everything you do, like you're gonna have to sign something, you're gonna have to go fill up like some paperwork and everything, and it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, got it. Anyways, Chen, hey, thank you for the chat.
No problem, anytime.
And we'll do it again, hopefully.
Sounds good.
Okay, we are out.